Hello, 7th graders. I hope you had a wonderful break, and I am anxious and excited to get back to learning in the classroom with you, but I hope you enjoy your little bonus day. For your e-learning activity today, you're going to need your simplifying fractions packet. This was handed out to you the Wednesday before we left on Christmas break. If you can find that packet, pause the video for the moment and look at page 3. Now, if you can't find the packet, you can go to the second assignment below this Edpuzzle today, and there is a copy of this worksheet for you to do digitally. If you choose to do it on the paper, which is totally fine, you're just going to want to make sure you remember to scan and attach it when it is completed. I'll be checking those later this evening. All right? So remember, before we left, we were practicing simplifying fractions. And when we practiced simplifying fractions, we took a look at the larger number and we tried to think about what were the factors of that number. For example, I know 1 times 36, but I also know 2 times 18. 3 times 12 equals 36. And then I know 4 times 9 and even 6 times 6. So I'm thinking about those factors, and I'm thinking, what number is the largest that also goes into 24? And I know that 12 goes into both 24 and 36. So I'm going to write divided by 12 because that's the factor that I used. And then I'm going to do 24 divided by 12 is 2. 36 divided by 12 is 3. So therefore my answer is 2/3. Now, the riddle is, why shouldn't you play basketball with pigs? This is used to help you solve the problems up above. So I go down and I look to see, are there any 2/3? And if there are any 2/3, then I put an A above them. Now, some of the fractions will appear down here and might even appear more than once, but some of them will not. Ultimately, the goal, though, for me is to have you complete all of these simplifying expressions, or fractions, excuse me. All right, so now if I go to the next one, I'm thinking about 20, and you don't have to write all this out right here that I'm doing on the side here. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking in my head and showing it to you. So I think about 20, and I know it's 1 and 20, 2 and 10, and then in between here would be 4 and 5. With the number 15, I know it's not even, so 2 and 10 and 20 aren't going to go into it, or 4, but 5 does. So remember, you write the divide by 5, and then if I divide the top by 5, I get 3, and the bottom by 5, I get 4. So my answer would be 3/4. Then I look down at the bottom and I see, are there any 3/4? Yep. So I put a B there. In this case, there was just 1. Okay. So now I'm looking at, one of the things to do when you're solving these is to think about and look at the comparison of the top number and the bottom number. So if I look at C and I think about 5, does 5 go into 10 evenly? Well, yes, it does. So then that's going to be the greatest common factor. So if I divide them both by 5, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I get 1/2. And as you can see, 1/2 is not down at the bottom. So that's fine. I'm just going to leave it as is. And I go on to the next one. Think to myself, does 7 go into 21? If it does, then I can simply divide by 7, and I get 1 on top and 3 on the bottom. Okay. Now, if I'm thinking, does 27 go into 63? If you're like, I don't know that, that's when you start thinking about your factors. What are numbers that go into 63? And I know 1 and 63, but maybe the only other one I know is 3 and 21. And I know 21 doesn't go to 27, so I'm going to divide them both by 3. When I do that, I end up with 27 divided by 3 is 9, and 63 divided by 3 is 21. But when I see that, I'm like, they both still can be divided by 3. Sometimes you might miss the greatest common factor, and that's okay. That just means you're going to have to take it another step. And in this case, I would divide by 3 again. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. So I got 3/7. So I look down here and see, do I have any 3/7? If I do, then I'm going to put an E in for it. And yep. All right. So again, I'm thinking about what numbers go into both. It's easier to start. Does 21 go into 35? Nope, it doesn't. So numbers that go into 35 are 1, 35, 5, because it ends in a 5, and 7. Of those numbers, 7 goes into 21. So 21 divided by 7 is 3. 35 divided by 7 is 5. Please box in your answers because that's going to help us when we correct this tomorrow. And I don't see any 3/5. Okay. Trying one more with you. Does 10 go into 40? It does, so I write the divide by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 40 divided by 10 is 4. 1/4, and I believe there was a 1/4 down there. Okay. 18 and 99. I'm not sure if 18 goes into 99, but I do know that 9 goes into both of them. So I'm going to divide them by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2, and 99 divided by 9 is 11. Oh, you got a bonus one there, right? So I go down and look and see, do I have a 2/11? And I do. All right. So your goal is to complete the rest of these, making sure you show me what you divide by, what your simplified fraction is, and box it in when you're done. Sometimes you might have to do it in a couple steps if you're not getting down to the simplest form. Simplest form, again, remember, means that the only number that goes into these two parts of the fraction is 1. There is no other number that goes into both 2 and 11 evenly besides 1. Right? If you have any questions or need any help, let me know. If you complete it digitally, just submit it when you are done. If you did it on paper, please scan and attach. Again, remember, no use of calculators. Try to do this on your own. Show me where your simplifying fraction skills are at so we can move forward tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great snow day.